Well, now that the conventions have wrapped up and Democrats and Republicans and us in the media can catch our breath as well, let's bring in our next guest to break down how the Democrats and Republicans did. Here's a presidential political strategist, best-selling author, and our own Newsmax analyst, Dick Morris. Welcome, Dick. It's good to see you.
Hey, good to be here. Thank you.
Now, in talking about, who they're targeting, in this, we saw during the convention, the Republicans really try to go after a voter who has not voted for them before. Now, in talking about all this violence as well that's going on, and now the president's headed to Kenosha, Wisconsin tomorrow in the aftermath of all that's went on there, there's a lot of talk in the White House between Jared Kushner and other aides about, doing more policies that are soft on crime or more police reform. Do you think this is going to work for them? Do you think they are going to be able to attract more of the minority vote by going that route?
No, not really, and I don't think that's a big deal. Kurt Kushner himself has always been in favor of criminal justice reform because he visited his father in prison frequently and understands the brutality of the system. But I think politically, the real impact of this issue is that it's coming in big time for Donald Trump. The Democrats made two horrendous mistakes in their convention, both of which I told them on your show that they were doing. One was they bet on the coronavirus. They made that the central theme of their campaign and of their ads, and it's going away. And people know it's going away. The second mistake was in focusing on police brutality and racial justice issues and not condemning the riots and the violence. They ratified what President Trump is saying, which is that it's not Biden himself, it's the leftists around him who are controlling him and manipulating him, and ultimately not condemning the violence. Now, I see today in Pittsburgh, Biden for the first time explicitly condemned the violence and the riots, and he blamed them on Trump for fanning the flames. And he said, look at me. Do I look like a crazy radical socialist with a soft spot for rioters? Come on, man. And the answer is, yeah, you don't look like that. And you're not like that. That's what we're saying. We're saying you look like a weakling, a frail guy, a demented guy who can't stand up to his own advisors, consultants, and voters and constituents and be tough on crime like you need to be.
So, Dick, here's the thing that's interesting to me. The president's obviously winning or believes he can win on this law and order issue. But what if the riots go away? What if the protests subside? And I'm not talking about tomorrow or next week, but we're 60-something days away from the election. Does he benefit, or does he get hurt, rather, if these riots quell and he's staked everything on this idea of law and order?
No. Look, the basic narrative here is that the virus is winding down and the jobs are increasing and coming back. And his payroll tax and extra unemployment benefits will encourage that trend. And that's the fundamental narrative. That's how he wins the election. Everything else, the riots and the virus and every other issue, are distractions that could hurt him. But now that if they in fact are ending, he'll win based on the economy.
So, Dick, the president's making an appearance in Kenosha tomorrow. Ted Wheeler is telling him not to even come, to stay away. Is this a smart move for the president to go and have a presence there?
Yeah, I think it is. First of all, realize why he's going. He's going to visit the family of the Blakes, which is when the president of the country visits the victim of the violence of the police department of that city. That's a very appropriate thing for him to do. And if the left anarchists try to feed off this and restart the protests, well, that's their business.
That also brings up another question, though, Dick. And listening to some of the base, yes, he's going to go visit the Blakes, but some are saying that he should also visit the law enforcement there. He should also visit the family of Rittenhouse and visit Rittenhouse. Does he need to play this very carefully tomorrow?
I think that's a good idea. Well, is Rittenhouse who is Rittenhouse again?
He was the other kid that got shot. He was more of a conservative protester. Yeah. He was there.
Yeah, I think, well, I'm mixing the names up. He should not visit the cop who fired the shots at Blake. He should visit any officers that were injured during the riot. I think that's appropriate. I mean, but the point is that his going there, his symbolism of that is very important. And Biden's whole deal here is to say that somehow Trump is responsible for the riots by his constituency. That somehow Trump is telling Antifa and Black Lives Matter to riot, and that's what's causing all of this. That's kind of a ricochet effect, pretty far-fetched.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, obviously, a lot of this will be interesting to see who he actually talks to tomorrow, what he says, and how the media reacts in terms of what message is ultimately conveyed. Dick, we'll be able to review this later with you. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, guys, up next, we're going to go down and take a look at how the media covered both conventions, and you are not going to believe some of the statistics that we have dug up for you. All that coming up.